Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a scene for the Living World of Darkness Changeling Dreaming venue. This venue takes place in the middle of the Queen's Museum. Sansere has petitioned Baron Iago for his attention, but we will see where that goes. So you are in.
Go ahead.
You are in the Queen's Museum, and there is a section that is under renovation, and there is a chicane there, kind of ushering people along.
Sansere is dressed to. She's not wearing the dress she made specifically for the other engagement, but she is dressed to impress. She is here to put a good foot forward as she is. She has paid her fee, given a small donation. Went on a tour or two, and made her way to be right on time for her appointment. Should one even take place?
As you get close, he the young knight looks at you, or the young gentleman looks at you. Can I help you, ma'am?
Uh, um, I'm looking for. She looks and she moves in a bit closer. Uh, I'm here to see the good band.
It's he nods and you have an appointment, I take.
Yes.
Well then, and he kind of looks left, looks right, moves his hand ever so subtly. You feel a slight tinge of magic, and
Mhm.
pulls aside the curtain. And it's just a small section of the museum. And there is a green bellfire uh, sitting in a hearth in a old reenactment piece. It seems like this whole area is being redone.
Sansere would look around, take in the ambience.
It's some pillars, some walls. Redecoration is being done, so there is a panel of what appears to be glass between you and the balefire, as if to project as if it was an image or to keep people safe. Little of A, little of B.
Keep my distance. Don't touch it.
Smart. Smart. And you were there for a few minutes, and then apparently Minicam wants to be silly.
No rush.
Uh, this Slightly older man, definitive she,
Mm.
walks out from behind some doors. And
Um.
this would be the Baron.
She will now. She will bow deeply. Um. My lord, Baron Iago, perhaps Scafford. It's
He
good
will
for you.
nod. Just like, yes.
This emotion for me to get up.
He
Cause
he kind of waits for a minute, and then he's like, "Oh," then makes a motion for you to get up.
mm-hmm. She will look to him. Uh, I came to speak with you about your current orders of business and things I should know. Things that each barony knows run differently, and I want to make sure that I'm doing my part in yours.
He nods.
I didn't want to make any assumptions, so what better way to ask?
So, what can you provide for the barony?
Um, that depends, my lord. Baron Iago Hanma. I am skilled in a few things, and there are things that I can offer. Since I do not know what this barony requires, I don't want to overstep my bounds.
Well, if you tell me what it is you are capable of, and what it is you can do, and what services you think you may be able to provide, I can tell you if we have need for those.
All right. I am a seamstress by trade, and I create works of beauty and elegance. I also am skilled in some preliminary freehold management. Should you see yourself in me?
Oh, really? So we don't have many freeholds. How did you become skilled in the tending of balefires? Or are you talking more about people?
I didn't hear that last part.
Or are you talking about people?
I didn't hear the last part you just said.
Are you talking about tending balefires, or are you talking about managing people?
Uh, I'm more so talking about people,
Ah,
making sure things are done, uh, making sure that my Lord Baron is fitting of proper attire. Not to say that you aren't.
I see. Well, there is. Well, and then he closes his mouth and he shakes his head. So, You are skilled in management, then, for lack of a better phrase.
Yes, my lord.
I see. And you operate your seamstress, you said, by trade. Is this an actual trade? Are you a business owner?
Yes, my lord.
Hmm. How many people do you employ?
I currently have a small number under my employ. They work for me. We do good business. We're flourishing.
That's good to hear. It's always nice to hear when a business does well. And he starts to kind of walk around you as if judging you.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little intimidating. He has a very powerful presence.
Mm-hmm.
And I take it you would do nothing but wear your own design.
Such as a seamstress, she has to be proud of her work.
Indeed. How long have you been in business?
I've been in business currently for the past 2 years after I left my previous employers. Things became rather taxing when I began my dream dance. Had to separate myself from that.
Generally, as it happens, when parts of us start to wake up, other parts of us start to, they become less important. Certain certain things end up falling by the wayside, others meet with more liberties. So tell me, you don't just request to meet a baron without having something to gain or something to trade. I mean, you've mentioned that you are a decent manager of people. You operate a business, which is hard to do in these taxing times and in this convoluted tax system. So you just came here to tout your wares?
No, my lord. Uh,
Oh,
um, it is important for those that live here and those that find themselves within your walls, under your care. Um, that I see what to see who you are with my own eyes. I mean, I can listen to stories. I can make assumptions, but I don't do that. And to me, that's just bad business practice.
of course. We should have our Be grounded in reality from time to time. Make sane and logical decisions.
Um, actually, Austin,
Mm-hmm.
does he remember her?
Refresh Austin's memory.
All right. Based off of the backstory I submitted,
Let me.
it's near the end.
Uh, it didn't end up getting transferred to the blue book, so
It's fine.
remind Austin.
I will remind Austin. It was her her mentor is currently incarcerated for
Mm-hmm.
basically being an anarchist,
Mm-hmm.
and he spoke on her behalf to make sure she
Mm-hmm.
wasn't thrown in because she wasn't yet an adult. It makes perfect sense if he doesn't remember her.
He does not remember. It's been a while.
At any rate, my lord, it's important and crucial to know where I stand. Should I need to improve, or in me improving, I'll be able to help better the lives of those that live here. How can we make this place better for me and for you?
Well, anything that would benefit me would also have to benefit those who reside here. Now, do you know much about how freeholds are created?
Um, I've never personally lived in one, but
I mean, you shouldn't live in one. It can kind of be bad for your sanity.
I visited one once or twice. But from what I've been told, they are important places that the nobility guard, and places where, in places of power, to put a finer point on it.
But they're a place where the walls of the mists are fairly thin, where you can access the near dreaming for whatever reason you need to, and that are safe and secure. They provide limited glamour in this troubling time, with the world still falling so far away of the magics of old. Everything needs an explanation and everything needs a reason. Although we do get the companies that send you know, spaceships and rockets into outer space, and amazing things that are happening that are just this side of magic, but people need to explain it. These are places where magic is I don't want to say free, but cultivated, shared. This is where hopes and dreams manifest and can provide safety. They are the lifeblood. But there are very few places that can sustain and hold on to a freehold. And making it is very, very difficult. I mean, I think it would be fantastic if this barony, if we got another one. I think it would do great things for you, for me, for the kingdom.
My Lord Baron, um, would, if such a thing were created, made, maintained, would, politically speaking, how safe would it be?
Your house is...
As she kind of lets that last part, she says it without saying it.
Yeah. Well, I would... The owner of a freehold is the owner of a freehold. There are risks and measures that come along with it. I mean, if you went through something so arduous, dangerous, and difficult, it wouldn't be right of me to just... or my knights to just seize it. It would be poor taste.
Perception, empathy.
Sure.
Uh, which one are you on? Babylon.
Changeling dice roller proper.
Okay. And okay. So, gosh darn it. Lag. Sorry. Thinking stupid Facebook. Anyway. Um I'm rolling. That would be... Ooh, okay. Gotta fix that. Not impressed.
Find it.
Yeah, that's a straight fail. You
Straight
gotta fix
fail.
that. Yeah, straight fail.
Nothing.
Um,
He's hard to read.
she looks at him, but there is an earnestness in her eyes, as in she's looking for a reason to believe him. One of the stories that I heard, though a very sensitive subject for some, I mean no disrespect, but
Freehold snatching.
to
Land
put a
grabs
finer
were a
point on
thing.
it.
They were a thing. They happened. And I would not make an attempt, but I cannot speak for others. I would not allow my knights to do so either. If you prove you can't keep it and can't keep it safe, then that is a different matter.
Entirely.
And if you can't keep it safe, we must defend the dreaming.
Sheila.
I'm sure that makes sense.
Absolutely. Um, I want to ask another question of you, if I could.
Yes?
Your your policies, the things that you allow to take place in your barony. I've heard no recent proclamations of such things.
The Ashit is paramount. First and foremost, we do our best to not interfere with the lives of commoners. No offense. Oh, don't spill blood. Don't stab one another. Don't get in trouble to where it draws heat onto you or I or any of us.
She nods.
You see somebody, you take care of them. These are our laws. Now there are some out there who would, tax their freehold. Some would tax their citizens, and we have all busted our balls. We've all worked very hard. Now, you do for me, I'll see what I can do for you.
She nods. As far as common contribution, trust, and all of that, what are the tax rates? How much do we owe the bank?
We are not in a time of war at the moment. We are not at a point where magic is fading farther and farther away. We are not. It is not yet at a point where we feel the taxation of dross is unnecessary.
She nods. Do you allow for, I know it's rather archaic, but open court for your subjects to air grievances, or is that something that you don't engage in?
Yeah, it's something I've engaged in from time to time. So, I wouldn't hope there are grievances. We do our best to look out. But I understand there are some who would, find grief about one thing or another. I mean, normally grievances should be settled in a matter that don't need to be broadcast across every radio station and every television channel. But if something like that were to come up, we would do our best to take care of it. And if it needed to happen in a public forum, then we would address it as such.
Would I be able to one short story before I take my leave, if you'll allow it?
As long as it is quick. I have other meetings. I am trying to figure out this goddamn water issue.
A boy and his father were out, and they were talking amongst each other, as often people do. They were very close, and one day there was a place where everyone would gather, and in this gather, once in a while, people would go to see the individuals that lived way above, way on top of the mountain. Now, the boy was rather young, some would say brash, and he went up and, in his excitement, reached out his hand and asked the people that live on high places his name, who he was. And this couldn't have been no older than 16, 17, 18, an older teenager. Asked for his name, and the person that lived way up on top struck him and said that he wasn't supposed to look upon him without asking first. And she sort of ends it and says, would you say this is a cautionary tale or one that is old, archaic?
It is a cautionary tale, for there are those who would still stick to older pathways.
And do you stick to older pathways?
I run somewhere between the two. I mean, if I was like one of those other new returns, do you think I would actually be speaking with you directly, one on one? And he kind of gives you this
Hmm.
knowing look.
Usually when Flora speak, some listen, some don't.
There are lessons to be learned in fables. Whether or not they apply in every situation, and the extent of how they apply in each situation, completely different matters.
I completely understand.
I am a little bit more accepting and willing to talk than some of the others. And you notice he kind of, like, he spoke in that tempo where he starts real slow, like his normal pace, and then it's just.
Mhm. If I
And
could
if
ask,
you are going,
go ahead, sir.
and if you were to petition the others, and if they were so kind as to grant you an audience, I would not show empty-handed if I were you.
Understood. And I thank you for your wisdom.
You are very welcome. But I have to go figure out. I've got to meet with some of the Selkies who are trying to figure out what's up.
Indeed.
Is there anything else you wish to address?
Um, your measurements.
Of course. Give me your business card and I will swing by and see your establishment in person.
She hands it over.
He'll take it, he'll look at it, flip it around, give it a good solid once over, and he pockets it.
Mhm.
Thank you. We can address measurements later. Now I have to. I'm sorry to cut this much shorter than I would like, but
You're a busy gentleman, my lord.
yes. And there's something in the water that must be taken care of.
Would I be able to do a guesstimate with a perception crafts?
Like on his measurements?
Yep.
Yeah, you could get a guesstimate, but it won't be accurate.
She needs to be accurate. Fair enough.
I mean,
So,
you can get a solid. Go ahead, give me your perception crafts.
uh, um, uh, 3 successes.
You've got enough to make a fairly basic dummy model, but
Fair.
you need to actually. You could get. You have enough to make a basic workup, but until you actually get, hands on and with him, you you won't be able to be 100%.
Gotcha.
But you have enough to kind of work off of make like a mannequin.
Thank you.
Okay.
With that, she will bow again. Um, not break eyesight. You know, not turn her back on him until her back hits the door eventually.
He just kind of he nods. Uh, that is where we will end our scene. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. Have a great day.